let's unzoom a little bit. We are watching from SoulsKeeper's perspective here. And SoulsKeeper is playing as Fallen in the bottom right corner as blue. And then we have MrIceFluffy in the top right corner playing as red in here, also Fallen. This is bugged a little bit because this replay was provided by MrIceFluffy. You can see also as the game in German, in Deutsch, I don't know, some other language, and also it was a version of the map where you have 12 players, so that's why we have this huge table here. Hopefully it won't take too much of the screen. Yeah, right now it's obscuring a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So first interesting thing we can see here is that both players are blocking the path right here in the back, which is something you would expect to see in the original Darkside Forest, but this is the Neo Darkside Forest, where you have the prolonged base up to the expansion, and the only entrance is behind the expansion. So in 99% of times you see basically any race playing on this map, people are blocking this entrance so they can easily and safely take the expansion after that. And in this game we can see that both players decided unknowingly of the strategy of the enemy player. They both decided to go for this strategy, and they blocked the path in the back leading to the actual starting base. So that is definitely interesting. This is indicating that none of them, or either of them wants to go for a quick expansion. Both of them will be probably just spamming some stingers really early on, trying to go for potential rush or just some really early on pressure. Outside of that we can see really similar population on both sides. Fluff is going definitely a little bit sooner for gems. SoulsKeeper is not getting any gems yet. Now he started with his first harvester. There is his first small skirmish. SoulsKeeper has a little bit higher HP on his stinger, so Fluff is forced to retreat a little bit. Both players are scouting the map quite well. None of them saw any buildings yet, but I think Fluff kinda knows where SoulsKeeper is. SoulsKeeper doesn't know yet. He's sending his stingers around. He checked this base, so now he knows that the enemy is definitely on one of the top positions, but this stinger is the one that will reveal which position it is exactly. Incubator being built on both sides. SoulsKeeper is definitely way ahead by like 450 HP there. And he also managed to get into Fluffy Town, scouting the buildings. He didn't see the incubator, but at least saw the two hives, and he knows about the position of Fluff's buildings, and he knows that it's exactly the same as SoulsKeeper's base. SoulsKeeper definitely left a pretty big entrance here, but he managed to fully block it on the left side with two of his control forms. Fluffy didn't do that. Maybe he doesn't even have a big entrance here, so he won't be able to get with huge units from the back outside of his town. But he also didn't block it here with control forms, so now stingers can get behind his hive from both sides, which is definitely a huge disadvantage, and it will be really hard to defend. Now we see SoulsKeeper trying to attack a little bit, but he has less stingers here, so he will have to retreat. He has only 7 against 8. Now another one is coming, okay. Fluff is trying to go for spitters, but as you can see he's behind on population. Now he has a summoner, but he's not transforming him yet, not sure what he's focusing on right now. He's even moving the summoner, he's going for a tower, okay, so now he's definitely losing a ton of time. He also has some unspent resources for population behind. Now he will have some huge problems. He needs to definitely keep the enemy away from his building before this tower is finished. He still needs to micromanage his stingers out. Yeah, he cannot finish like this because he has way less stingers, but at least he has some freed up population now, so his spitters started producing, and he managed to finally block this with a control form. That was a really clutch move, but he managed to do that. And SoulsKeeper is also going for a tower, so he at least spent some resources on that. He's also making a third hive, but he also already finished a Val Cocoon, and he's producing his first hive guard, so he will have some flying units really soon. Fortunately for Fluff, he's at least making spitters, so he will have some anti-air to protect his harvesters with, because this tower will at least protect these hives from the flying units, but definitely cannot protect the harvesters for now. The first guards will be ready in a second. Stingers coming again here, but obviously against the spitters they have no more chance. Maybe on open field where they could gang them from multiple sides, but here they can just stand here in a small area. The Stingers will block the enemy Stingers there, and Fluff will totally destroy the army of SoulsKeeper there. But SoulsKeeper is already preparing his hive guards here below the Fluff's town. He's actually going for Souls Trap, so not going for flying hive guards. He's rather trying to unlock experience for his units and also some other potentially stronger units for the mid game. Neither of the players is going for expansion yet, which makes sense because of their building positioning, but SoulsKeeper has the advantage of 3 hives, so he's producing his units way quicker while also having stronger units. Even though, actually now hive guards are finally starting to harass Fluff. He just waited for like 4 of them. Fluff started some towers here, but they will definitely not be finished. SoulsKeeper will destroy both of them. But spitters now came. They are definitely stronger than hive guards, but hive guards have that huge advantage of mobility, where you can just attack the town from multiple sides and take out the harvesters without the spitters being really able to do anything against that. As you can see now, Fluff doesn't have any income. He's building 1 tower here, but he definitely needs to start getting his gold as soon as possible again. He's still only 4 population behind, but as you can see, SoulsKeeper now started building an expansion, while also still harassing here. Managing to kill some harvesters, even though he lost 1 hive guard there, so that was not a effective trade. But as I said, he's making an expansion now. I don't know if he already got metamorphosis for flying hive stingers, but he'll probably get that really soon as well. So he'll have even more units. And Fluffy either needs to now take all of his units and push it, which might be actually possible if he can block the Stingers away from his spitters. Because SoulsKeeper spent a ton of resources on the Dark Fortress, so even though Fluff was not getting new resources for a while, he's definitely not that much behind in terms of army strength. He's like 10 population behind, but there will be some new harvesters, I guess, as well for SoulsKeeper, maybe not. But spitters are stronger, so he might have a chance if he just pushed it. But if he lets SoulsKeeper build the base there and doesn't punish him for it, he will definitely start falling behind really rapidly. He's actually making a Hall of Whispers, so and also some new towers. But Hall of Whispers is definitely indicating some potential use of Void Walkers, which is an interesting strategy, but in my opinion definitely not the best in this situation. If you guys saw my PvP strategy guide videos, you definitely know that I mentioned this strategy as one of the alternatives where you can go for Stingers and Spitters together with Void Walkers and Freeze really early on. This is definitely too late for that, but still a decent attempt. But you cannot do it against Hive Guards and Flying Stingers. Obviously that is something you might try to utilize maybe against Empire. Try to kill the priests where the rest of the army is frozen, something like that, but here it doesn't really make sense. And also it's too late, so we'll see how it goes for him, but I definitely don't think this is the right decision. He's also making some decent upgrades. Second upgrade for damage, for High Spitters and High Stingers. But as you can see, SoulsKeeper also has already one upgrade for armor, and he's getting his first damage upgrade as well, so he's definitely not too behind. And he's making his 4th hive, another tower in his expansion now. He's wasting some HP against the spitters. He probably actually killed one. I don't think I don't know if he lost some guards, probably not. But he can easily heal on the unholy ground, so this shouldn't be a problem. And as you can see, this is a really good move from SoulsKeeper. He's scouting the map around with his stingers. We see Fluff is also scouting with at least one stinger here, but definitely not checking all the expansions. SoulsKeeper's vision on most of them. Obviously not this one for right now. Also this and this one, which is really close to him. So Fluff obviously won't expand here, but I think he's flying with the stingers around the map a little bit. So SoulsKeeper definitely can be pretty sure that Fluff doesn't have an expansion, while Fluff definitely doesn't really know anything about the map. I think he knows about this expansion, but outside of that he doesn't really have any more information. He has his first Void Walker ready right now. I think he already researched Freeze. It costs 125 mana, so he can already cast it once. Guards and Stingers are coming at the same time to his army, and I think this might be a huge hit. And yeah, he's going to lose his Void Walker without really doing anything, but as you can see, also lost a ton of Hive Guards. So even though this was a decent loss for Fluffy, I think this was actually positive for him in terms of trade. I think that was a good trade for him. Even though he lost his important unit there, important caster, he managed to kill majority of the Hive Guards there and damage the other ones. So right now, SoulsKeeper is only operating with his Stingers, and as you can see, SoulsKeeper is sitting on ton of resources. I'm not sure what he's doing right now. He's definitely wasting ton of time there. Should be producing in all of his highs, which he is actually doing. But he has also Vengeance Halls now that are not really being used. He could make more towers, and right now, as you can see, this could be actually really bad for him. As you can see, he's not even using his Stingers, they are just kinda sitting AFK in the air right now. I saw a video from him playing, and I saw what he was doing, so he was focusing on this area, building the Chamber of the Avenger instead of actually using his Stingers there. If he dropped while he still had some units in the front, I think he would kill these Spitters already. But right now he's definitely quite behind. He's still not using his Flying Stingers, now maybe bringing them, but he's not fighting with the Harvesters. He doesn't have any more towers right now. So he's going to repel this. Obviously a ton of Stingers in the air, so once he drops them, and actually he would kill it even without them, but with them it would be totally easy. But he definitely lost way more than he had to if he actually focused on the fight a little bit more. Obviously he wanted to mainly focus on getting the Chamber of the Avengers so he can start producing Avengers for his army, because those are definitely the best counter for this. And he wanted to also save the resources for that as well, I guess. But he has the expansion, he's 30 population ahead right now, so this is obviously already GG basically. Fluff doesn't even have Vengeance of the Avenger. Not Vengeance of the Avenger. Vengeance Hall and Chamber of the Avenger. He's just making another hive, which is actually only the third one for him. He's still getting more upgrades. Getting the third upgrade for damage, so doesn't even bother about some armor. SoulsKeeper is diversifying it a little bit more, which is definitely a smarter move here. It's also less expensive to split it between both stats. We see some towers preparing for some potential air harassment, but finally first two Avengers are being produced, and SoulsKeeper is also placing his third base there. Scouting all the expansions. Well, finally deciding to also make an expansion. He also remade his Void Walker. But he just doesn't have any resources to really do anything. So SoulsKeeper is struggling with wood a little bit right now. Fluffy definitely doesn't have that problem. He's almost 900 wood. And it seems like SoulsKeeper also ran out of gold in his main base. So he will just transfer these harvesters to his new base, but he also managed to bring one more harvester on wood, so he will hopefully fix this problem with wood. Maybe I would even bring a third one. Yeah, this one, I would just bring it to wood. But yeah, actually, Fluffy is going for a push now. Bringing his Void Walker kinda in the front. He managed to freeze like 3 Stingers there, definitely not the most effective thing, but actually he managed to kill the army. But right now the Avengers are coming, and he definitely has no chance against them with this anymore. He will just need his own Hive Guards either, or just drop a ton of Stingers on them. When there's only 2 Avengers, you can quite easily kill them with Stingers, because they won't die that quickly. Once there is full population of Avengers, Stingers are not really that effective anymore. But against this it would be definitely enough, but he mainly started focusing on Spitters here. That was probably just a scout or something getting hit by this tower. Nothing too interesting. Finally going for some armor upgrades as well, after finishing all 3 damage upgrades. You can also kill Avengers with Spitters, yeah, but the damage is poison, and they take only 50% from poison, and he has no upgrades on them. It will get even better. I think it goes down all the way to like 35%, yeah, so definitely not the best. You also take only 50% from cold damage, which is the damage type of Hive Guards, but obviously they are flying units, so they are effective against Avengers because they cannot attack them back. And Stingers are of course the best option because you deal pike damage, 250% damage. But yeah, this is obviously really one-sided at this moment. Maybe he will actually kill one Avenger, not even, okay. The Stingers before the Avengers are another huge problem. Fluffy is going to lose his base now. His main base also ran out of resources at this moment. Maybe next time design these maps with the aspect of giving less resources into the gold fields to what is the word? Emphasize, something like that, the need of making the expansion. So we're getting the resources from macro. But yeah, it is a little bit of a problem once you lose the base. Then you don't have more resources in your main base, and it's kinda GG here. Another Void Walker. Doesn't have mana yet, but he cannot freeze Avengers anyways. We're gonna kill one Avenger at least. But yeah, now the Stingers will finish it. As you can see, when there are two Spitters hitting one Avenger, it's actually not that bad. They are doing some decent damage to him. If they are spread, if they are not getting hit at once, it would be even better. But yeah, once you stack multiple Avengers, it's a really powerful unit. Fingers obviously one-shooting the Harvesters because they also take 150% from pike damage. Not as much as Avenger. But they also don't have that much HP, and those are just villagers, so obviously they should die quicker anyways. SoulsKeeper ending only with one upgrade on damage and armor for Hive Stingers and one armor for Hive Guards. No upgrades for Avengers, so we'll probably see it in the results. Maybe even Fluffy will have more upgrades overall. But definitely no more units. Actually, fourth base being placed at the end of the game from SoulsKeeper. And Fluffy calls it GG now, even though we still have 3 more percent, so he'll probably not surrender. So let's wait for this last hive, and it should be GG. 1 more percent. The replay is a little bit delayed even though the players already left. I could just leave it there, but let's wait for the replay to finish and let's check the results. Nearly 23 minutes. And actually kills are pretty balanced, but as you can see, SoulsKeeper just produced like... obviously there is also Metamorphosis, but still the largest army was twice as big. He had stronger units, in terms of Avengers at least. More experience, but yeah, kills and losses were pretty much balanced. Actually, Fluffy got a little bit more kills there. Researches. Yeah, 1 more for Fluffy actually. SoulsKeeper had definitely more buildings, he had a ton of expansions as I said. Destroyed way more buildings, didn't really lose anything. There was one decent push from Fluffy, definitely, with those Spitters. Unfortunately, it was decent only because SoulsKeeper was not really using half of his army. Otherwise, it would be pretty weak anyways. Yeah, and Resource is definitely totally one-sided here. But yeah, nice game.